Hi, everyone. Lisa Haven here, and you'll have to excuse me in today's report. I am absolutely livid at the state of the United States of America and what's happening in our once land of the free, home of the brave society. I can't really say that we're that anymore. You see, not only were we crippled by the COVID-19 lockdowns and restrictions, which completely obliterated our economy, sending us into a Great Depression 2.0, but now on top of it, cancel culture has really taken effect in society, and we're literally having to make a daily effort just to stay free in the United States of America. And I'm specifically referencing the latest cancel culture woke movement by the MLB to move their all-star game from Georgia into Colorado. And I've got so much to say about that because the hypocrisy of what they have done is massive. And I'm going to call it what it is. It's actual racism and it's actual hypocrisy. And I've got so much. And Abbott and Rand Paul have made some pretty big statements on all of that. And look, if we don't stick together and start boycotting some of these agencies, we're in a whole hell of trouble, speaking of our freedom specifically, right? But before we get into it, and again, excuse me on all of that, get on over to restrictiverepublic.com. Look, I speak openly, blunt. We do live streams. You actually get YouTube content on there without any of the commercials on restrictiverepublic.com. And this is the way that you can just simply support us. Right now, using the code DOLLAR, because we know things are tight right now, you can get our entire subscription for 1 month for $1. And you can cancel whenever you want if you choose to stay. That's your choice. But you're going to love what you see there. And again, this is a way to support us and get the real news that we can't talk about on YouTube. I'm just going to put it that way. All right. So let's get into what's going on. Most of you are already well aware of this, but I'm really going to hone in on the hypocrisy of it and what we have to do to stop this cancel culture. But it's foxsports.com. MLB moves all-star game to Coors Field in response to Georgia's voting restrictions. Now, here's the hypocrisy that I'm talking about. This is on GatewayPundit.com. MLB will move all-star game to Denver, where a photo ID is also required to vote and drink beer. Yeah, no joke. So MLB, and I'm just going to briefly recap this because you guys are already well aware, says we're getting the heck out of Georgia. We're boycotting the state of Georgia over the fact that you are putting election laws in place that state you need a photo ID to vote. And because of that, MLB moves to a state that already requires ID to vote. Do you see the hypocrisy in this? Not to mention, right, if you get tickets for their game, you need an ID for that too, but God forbid that you need one to vote in Georgia only. This is massive hypocrisy on a scale that I have never seen before. So what's the real motive here, right? But this is the kind of stuff that woke culture is doing. And that's not the only hypocrisy, right? Let me take you to the state of the Colorado here. Colorado Secretary of State. Here's what you need. All voters who vote at the polls must provide identification. If you are voting by mail for the first time, you may also need to provide a photocopy of your ID when you return your ballot. And here's all the things that they can use as identification. Hypocrisy from the MLB, right? It's such hypocrisy. And you know what? Stacey Abrams and Joe Biden have been providing false information about voter time polls, and none of that changed. The time that you go to vote didn't change at all. Joe Biden just fabricated that out of thin air. Or maybe it's just part of his brain, but that's not the only hypocrisy, right? There's also this, and this is why I say it's racist, right? Here we have ZeroHedge.com. MLB moves all-star game from Atlanta to one of the whitest cities in America. Wait now. And I'm not making this up. Here it is. Georgia is a red state. Colorado has shifted blue in recent years. The MLB has rewarded the blue state after criticizing a red state over voting laws that's less restrictive than some blue states, including Delaware. So pro baseball is now a blue sport. Atlanta is a black majority city with 51 of its population black, 51%. Colorado, right? Denver, on the other hand, is one of America's whitest cities with just over 9% of it being black. That means more than 70%, 76% of it is white. But they want you to believe that they were moving to Colorado to be less racist. Yet, you're moving to one of the whitest cities. This is why I'm going to join in with what Governor Abbott and Rand Paul are saying we need to do and what they are doing, and that is boycott. And look, this is over our election integrity. This is not a line we can cross. We can't sit there and say, okay, this is different. No, if we all work together and boycott the MLB and Coke and Delta Airlines, because they were the main ones who kicked off this junk, we have to start doing something from the power that we the people have. And I don't disagree, but Governor Abbott hits back and he throws one of the punches there. But here it is, Breitbart.com. Abbott boycotts MLB, declines to throw the first pitch after the league pulls the All-Star game from Atlanta. The article goes on to state this. Texas Governor Abbott has declined to throw the first pitch at the Texas Rangers home opener and declined to participate in any MLB events after the league announced plans to relocate their All-Star game from Atlanta in response to Georgia's newly passed election integrity law. Now, here's what he actually said. Major League Baseball adopted what has turned out to be a false narrative about the election law reforms in Georgia and based that on that false narrative. So they moved the MLB All-Star game from Atlanta, he said. And he goes on to say this, and this is the actual tweet here, but he says, it is shameful that America's pastime is not only being influenced by partisan political politics, but also perpetuating false political narratives. This decision does not diminish the deep respect I have and love that I have for the Texas Rangers baseball organization, which is outstanding from top to bottom. And that's the thing. We're allowing corporate entities, if you will, and businesses to make political calls and political stances. Wait, what? Imagine if every business did that, we would have complete parallel societies. Republicans are allowed in one place, Democrats go when? I mean, really? It's all about division. But perhaps, even more importantly, the article says, that Abbott said he would not participate in any MLB events, nor will the state of Texas offer to host the MLB All-Star Game or any other events. Wow. Good for him. Good for him. We need more congressional leaders to do likewise. We need more governors, right, to do likewise. This is what we need. If they're going to make a stand and they're going to start doing stuff like that, then the Republican states need to start standing up. Otherwise, we're gone. Our freedoms are gone. Our ability to be unified in America is gone. This is straight up division like I have never seen before on top of an already hurting society. Then there's this statement too. And I applaud him on this. Reuters.com, stay out of politics. Republican leader McConnell tells U.S. CEOs and warns of consequences. Thank you. Thank you, Mitch McConnell. And then there's also this, and this is on Breitbart.com, Rand Paul on Georgia versus Coca-Cola, MLB and Delta. If they want to boycott us, why don't we boycott them? Amen, right? And this is what he stated specifically. They started it, he said. That's Rand Paul. Major League Baseball wants to boycott the whole state of Georgia, including Atlanta. They have already gotten rid of the All-Star game and the draft, and they're doing it because they don't like a new Republican law, a law that actually expands voting. It doesn't contract voting. Georgia now has more early voting than New York does. So it's kind of ridiculous, isn't it? Even the facts don't meet what they're trying to do. But my point is, yes, if they want to boycott us, why don't we boycott them? Amen. This is the only thing that will teach them a lesson. Amen. If Coca-Cola wants to operate in Democrat states and wants only Democrats to drink Coca-Cola, God love them. We will see how well they do when half of the country quits drinking Coca-Cola, when half of them quits using Delta Airlines. So the thing is, they're all woke, but they're really doing something that is against their financial interests of every business. Publicly traded businesses usually don't get involved with politics because it hurts their bottom line to make half the country very unhappy. I can't help but think, there's some underlining benefits that the Democrats are working with on a lot of these companies, right? They're praising them, giving them attaboys. Any sound Democrat would be like, no, because that could happen to our side from some Republican organization, but we're not seeing that. Now we have to make a stand. We have to make a stand as the United States of America. Imagine if all 70 some odd million of us who voted for President Trump said, no more Major League Baseball, no more Coca-Cola, no more Delta Airlines. I won't be doing any of that. They are officially boycotted. This is our election and our election integrity. This is about, this is all because of Georgia saying, we want an ID. I mean, give me a break. And then moving to a state that requires an ID to vote. Is it all just a show for the useful idiots listening on television? To make this idea that Republicans are racist and bigot and bad and evil. So everybody needs to switch to the Democrat side. Is that what this is about? I think there's a lot more going on that meets the eye. And excuse me today, I really am livid. We are going to lose our country, folks. There's already all this tension in the United States of America. Conservatives are being segregated. They're being blacklisted, kicked out of banks, investments, and all this stuff. And I've got massive libertarian views. If that was happening to my liberals, to the liberals, I would stick up for the liberal because nobody deserves to be blacklisted in that manner, no matter what religion they are, no matter what political stance they are, no matter what color of skin they are. We're all equal in the eyes of God. Anyhow, I love all of you. I'd love to get your thoughts on all of that. And I had to go on about this, but please don't forget to check out my partner at noblegoldinvestments.com. And right now, if you go and sign up for their 401k or Roth IRA, any approved one will get this coin here. And this is the Carson City uncirculated silver dollar. This thing is absolutely amazing. You could see the back of it there too a little bit. It's got the eagle on it there. But this thing is awesome. And right now you get it as a keepsake item for you guys just for getting an approved IRA or 401k. Anyhow, give them a call. Let them know you heard it on Lisa Haven. Well, thanks again for tuning into the channel. I really love all of you. I'm Lisa Haven signing out.